Unified is the second largest school district in the state. 103,000 students are in the district, and more than 8,000 of those kids are homeless. That's just under 8%. Good evening, and thanks for staying with us. I'm Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. Many of them are with their families, and they don't have a permanent place to call home. Others are all by themselves, wandering the streets after school, some as young as 12. Our Heather Myers breaks down the numbers we obtained from the school district and has more on how shelters and schools are trying to help.
We had been living in hotels, and there had been a lot of things going on. It was a very hostile environment.
Alexander Satberry is sitting in this mid-city youth shelter with a very different perspective now. She's a marketing intern for San Diego Youth Services and remembers showing up here 6 years ago. She was 17 and homeless.
That was the first time, I think, since being in California that I had felt I think I'll be good here. I think I'll be safe. I think I'll be comfortable.
Data from the San Diego Unified School District shows the skyrocketing number of students dealing with the same issue. As of November, there were 8,362 students without permanent housing in the district. That's a 27% jump from 2016. 3,800 elementary students, more than 2,100 middle schoolers, and 2,300 high schoolers are experiencing homelessness.
When you think of someone who's homeless, you think of an older person who's pushing a shopping cart or standing on the street corner asking you for money. Kids are invisible.
Walter Phillips is the CEO of San Diego Youth Services, which operates a temporary shelter for kids and teens. He calls it a crisis, the growing number of local families dealing with poverty.
How does a 12-year-old end up in that situation?
That is heartbreaking when you see a young 12-year-old. We had a brother, two brothers come in 12 and 13 years of age. Family was homeless, family was destitute, and these kids ended up on the streets and ended up in our shelter.
As well as youth who are running away or who have been kicked out of their homes. Phillips says kids and teens are often overlooked. They tend to walk around with a backpack, even a cell phone. But then come nightfall, they have nowhere to go.
We are at the Storefront Youth Emergency Shelter. This is our living space where the youth stay.
I got an inside look at SDYS's mid-city area youth shelter. Neatly made bunk beds line the walls of this room. There are 17 beds here, and on the day we came, most but not all of them were full. Everywhere you look, there is student-made art and murals. There's a kitchen where teens who stay here can prepare their own meals.
Sometimes they just need kindness. A lot of the situations that they come in can be abusive. We just don't even know. And just being able to show light, you see their light.
In San Diego County, our homeless numbers increased by 11% from the 21-22 school year to the 22-23 school year, and statewide the increase was 9%. So we increased a bit more than the state average.
Susie Terry is the coordinator of homeless education services with the San Diego County Office of Education. She says the term experiencing homelessness has a wide definition, from teens on the streets alone to families living with relatives out of their cars or in a shelter.
They don't have their own lease, they don't have access to their own housing, but they have a place to stay, they have a roof over their head, and that makes them kind of invisible homeless. A lot of people don't see that as homeless.
Terry says thanks to money from the American Rescue Plan Act, almost every public school in San Diego County has a homeless services liaison. The goal is to keep each student at their home school and offer support such as hotel vouchers for families.
There is research that shows that a student who leaves school without earning a high school diploma or an equivalent is 346% more likely to experience homelessness as a young adult.
Even then exiting, it was very much I told them, I was I'm gonna be back one day. And they were like, you better. And here I am. So I meant that.
Alexander says just after turning 18, her mom called to say she was headed to Atlanta.
So I was newly 18 now, navigating, okay, I need to prioritize where am I gonna live and things like that. But being here had really helped with that.
She says San Diego Youth Services helped her find affordable housing and offered her this chance to be an intern while working to get her GED. Alexander is breaking the cycle of homelessness and paving a way for a brighter future for herself and kids just like her.
I'm rooting for all of them to make it out of their situation and get a chance at life that everyone should have.
Beautiful story of success there with Alexander and how she's paying it forward and helping other kids.
It's great to see her involved.
Yeah, really neat. Now, you just heard Heather mention the extra money for school homeless education services provided by the American Rescue Plan Act.
That money is set to run out at the end of September, and at this point, it does not appear likely that it will be renewed.